Hello guys and welcome to my first video. My name is Nevi Senpai or Nevio and I really love anime, manga, manhwas, light novels, web novels and video games and wanna talk about them. So let's start with my favorite web novel, Lord of the Mysteries. What is Lord of the Mysteries, you may ask? Lord of the Mysteries, for short LOTM, is a Chinese web novel created by author Cuttlefish that loves diving. Lord of the Mysteries is a weird mix of different genres and mixes a Victorian era world with steampunk, Lovecraftian horror, and mystery. It may sound a little weird, but those things mix very well. So, here's the official description on the web novel page. With the rising tide of steam, power, and machinery, who can come close to being a beyonder? Shrouded in the fog of history and darkness, who or what is the lurking evil that murmurs into our ears? Waking up to be faced with a string of mysteries, Zhu Mingrui finds himself reincarnated as Clive already in an alternate Victorian era world where he sees a world filled with machinery, cannons, dreadnoughts, airships, different machines, as well as potions, divination, hexes, tarot cards, and sealed artifacts. The light continues to shine, but mystery has never gone far. Follow Klein as he finds himself entangled with the churches of the world, both orthodox and unorthodox, while he slowly develops newfound powers thanks to the Beyonder potion, like the corresponding tarot card, the Fool, which is numbered 0, a number of unlimited potential. This is the legend of the Fool. I will now give you a short summary of the first 10 chapters, and at the end I will give you a feedback and two of my friends that I asked. So, let's start with the first volume. So, in the first chapter, we start with Zhu Mingrui slowly regaining consciousness. It took him a moment, but he finally managed to take in his surroundings: a notebook, a revolver, a lamp, and a few other items set on the table before him, all bathed in an eerie crimson glow. The source was obvious: the moon outside was red, casting an unnatural hue over everything. His gaze fell on the revolver. It was an antique resembling those used in ancient Europe. Something about it, along with the strange moon, fell off. That was when the realization struck him: he had transmigrated. His new identity was Klein Moretti, a citizen of the Loen Kingdom located in Awa County, within the city of Tingen, a history graduate from Koi University. Klein was an orphan, his parents long gone. Now he lived with his younger sister and older brother, barely scraping by. Despite his financial struggles, he had valuable knowledge. He was proficient in ancient Faesak and the Hermes language, something that would prove crucial in the future. His eyes landed on a notebook resting on the table. The text within was written in Hermes: "Everyone will die, including me." After reading, Klein leans away from the notebook and hears faint murmurings. He notices a bloody handprint and looks at himself in the mirror. In the mirror, he can clearly see the wound on his face, which was clean through his head, a bit of brain visible. In the second chapter, we then see Zhu Mingrui wandering about what is happening because he shouldn't be alive, but still is. He looks around and a few fragmented pieces of memories play before him. His brother's name is Benson and works very hard for Klein and his sister. On his wall is a gas meter where he puts a coin in. After a few moments there is light. He then notices the restorative effects of the transmigration, which is healing his wound, then cleans his room, and his sister's name is Melissa. Zhu Mingrui continued to wonder about the circumstances around the suicide attempt of Klein Moretti. Klein then decides to uncover the mysteries of this world and return home. During a visit of Shu in his hometown, he discovered a book called The Quintessential Divination and Arcane Arts of the Jin and Han Dynasty. He read a bit in it but lost interest and threw it into a corner. After a month of bad luck, he did the luck enhancement ritual in the book. All he needed was to get 4 portions of the staple food in his area and place them in the 4 corners of his room. They could be placed on furniture such as table and cupboards. Then, standing in the middle of the room, he had to take 4 steps in a counterclockwise fashion to make a square. The first step required him to sincerely chant, "Blessings stem from the immortal Lord of heaven and earth." The second step was to silently chant, "Blessings stem from the Sky Lord of heaven and earth." The third step was, "Blessings stem from the exalted Thearch of heaven and earth." And the fourth step was, "Blessings stem from the celestial worthy of heaven and earth." After the 4 steps were taken, he needed to close his eyes and wait 5 minutes in his original spot. Only then would the ritual be considered complete. And in the night of his try, he transmigrated into this world. In the third chapter, Shu Mingrui then took upon to study the memories of Klein and that he had to attend in Tingen's University History Department interview in 2 days. We then get a little information on Melissa and that she is rather special and is more a fan of gears and springs than the girl stuff. Benson, of course, supported this and sent her to normal school and not only Sunday school of the church. He then talks to his sister and she fixes the pocket watch their father left behind for them. He then leaves to buy some groceries and notices that the date works very similar to Earth and that he is left wondering if he really is in a parallel world. The weeks, though, are of religious because of the seven Orthodox gods. The seven Orthodox gods are the eternal blazing sun, the Lord of storms, the god of knowledge and wisdom, the Evernight goddess, Mother Earth, the god of war, and the god of steam and machinery. In the fourth chapter, Shu Mingrui leaves to buy some groceries and prepare the luck enhancement ritual. We then get the information that Shu and Klein are very much attracted to money as soon as he takes out the banknote. Before leaving, he took the revolver with him because he thinks he's gonna encounter some accidents. He goes on and buys some bread from Miss Mirren. He talks with her for a bit, and if he passed the interview, he would definitely earn good money and help his brother and sister. On his way to the meat store, he sees a circus on the municipal square. He then gets asked if he wants a divination, and he refuses, of course, because money. But then she says something that puts him off, that her tarot divination are very accurate, and the pronunciation of the tarot is almost the same as on Earth. He then saw in Klein's memories that the tarot cards were invented by a guy named Russell Gustav. He also invented the steam engine and brought boats to a new standard, and many more things. He then created new kingdoms and brought forth the Anitid Republic, which he later renamed to an empire and became the self-proclaimed Emperor Caesar. It seems that this Rosal guy is a fellow transmigrator. In the end, he still accepts the divination. At the start of the fifth chapter, he followed the woman into the back of her tent and she starts the divination. He asks for a divination about the past, present, and future. The first card he picked was for the present, and it was the Fool card. He got fooled. It wasn't a diviner who divined for him, but an animal trainer. But her divination came true. After he returns home, he tries the luck enhancement ritual once again. At the last step he was assaulted with pain and closed his eyes. A few moments later, when he opened them again, a grey fog appeared over his eyes. He saw small crimson stars in the fog and tries touching one. A mark appeared on. He pulled away and accidentally touched another one, feeling his mind emptying and his spirit dissipating. In the Loen Kingdom's capital, Backland, inside a luxurious-looking villa at the royal district, her voice trailed off. The bronze mirror which rested on the dresser suddenly glowed with a crimson light that shrouded her completely. In the Sonia Sea, a three-masted sailboat that looked like an obvious relic was navigating through a storm. Then, at this moment, a crimson starburst appeared in the space between the glass bottle and the surface of his palm. In an instant it enveloped the surroundings as well. Audrey regained her sight and saw a mysterious person standing there, who is of course our Sho Mingrui. In the sixth chapter, Shu Mingrui asks himself what exactly is happening. The other two of course do too. He then starts an attempt to build a mysterious personality. He noticed that these two are only visitors and he is the one in control. Audrey then asks Zhu, who has no clue how she could become a Beyonder. He then uses the fog to make a bronze table and 10 high-backed chairs appear. The other guy then starts to tell how to become a Beyonder and gives a few options. Either join an official church or seek out the royal families with a very long background or join an evil organization. He then says he has two Sequence 9 potion formulas. He has one Sequence 9 Sailor and Sequence 9 Spectator. She then agrees on the spectator potion and makes a deal with him. They ask Shu to be a witness to their trade and ask him how they should address him. You can address me as the Fool. In the seventh chapter, he agrees to be the witness of their trade. They then agree to hold more of those gatherings in the future. So now, every Monday at 3 in the afternoon are these gatherings held. The other two also get their call signs and are named after tarot cards of the Justice and the Hanged Man. So, the Tarot Club is officially founded. Then we get a bit of information about divination. that it comes from oneself and not from objects like tarot cards who are only a helpful tool. Roselle seems to have created a mysterious and powerful set of 22 cards with unknown purpose. They then end their meeting, and Shu then decides that from now on he is Klein Moretti. In the 8th chapter, we then have a POV switch to Olga, who is still on his boat. Olga then beats up someone with the power of a Folk of Rage and threw him off the boat into the ocean. Then we switch to Audrey, and the crimson stars disappear under her left hand, and we get introduced to her dog Susie. She then chooses a dress for her 17th birthday. She then goes with her father to witness an inauguration of an ironclad warship. The king's family arrives on an airship. That warship will be of help against the 4 pirate kings and other pirate admirals. In the 9th chapter, we switch back to Klein, and he also has those spots on his hand like Audrey. He is very hungry and wants food. He starts cooking for him and Melissa. He cooks and decides to become a Beyonder as fast as possible to learn more about mysticism. He then reads Klein's diary. We get introduced to his former teacher, Mr. Azik. We learn on the 29th of May, Welch, Klein's friend, discovered a notebook from the 4th epoch. They tried deciphering it. Around a month later, they discovered that the book belonged to someone from the Antigus family. More days later, they discovered that the owner accepted a mission to go to the nation of Evernight at the highest peak of the Hornazes mountain range. At the 28th day of June, Zhu Mingrui transmigrated. Then there are knocks on the door. In the 10th chapter, the officer that knocked on his door's name is Bitch Mountbatten. That is his name. There are 3 other inspectors asking him about Welch. They then tell him Welch has also passed away, and Naya, their other friend too, both suicide attempts. They then take the notebook and will bring an expert to him to prove that he does not lie. They then leave and are relieved that one of the 3 friends is still alive. So, my friends, that were the first 10 chapters of this novel. I hope you enjoyed them. And now we come to the end part. My conclusion and 2 of my friends, and at the end I will tell you what I plan to do in the future. So, my conclusion is that this novel is the best novel I ever read. The story is just magnificent and super interesting, especially in the later volumes. To be honest, I had a little difficulty at the start, till around chapter 30, but I got through the first half of the first volume, and from then on it just gets absolutely wild. The first 60-ish chapters are a lot of information, so it can be a little overwhelming and difficult, but after he drinks the first Beyonder potion, that part is over. I would recommend this novel to every person, and it's an absolute 10 out of 10. Well then, second conclusion of my friend that's only through volume 1 says, very well written, with characters that don't come across to me as one-sided or anything. Lots of suspenseful moments and an interesting power system with plenty of freaky moments. I think I prefer Shadowslave a bit more, even if Shadowslave sometimes become incomprehensible because of the pirating. I would have liked it if LOTM had some romance elements, but it wouldn't make sense for the story anyway. He gave the first volume an 8 out of 10. And now, the last conclusion of my second friend. Lord of the Mysteries is the best reading experience the internet has to offer. It is set in a brilliant setting that is unlike any other novel. The power system is complex and elaborated to a unique and one of the best systems. The battles demand your full attention through well thought out and complex sequences. The level of foreshadowing and the plot twist physically knock off your socks. How the characters grow and develop with their pathways is exciting to read throughout. All these points culminate in my number 1 novel, a must read. So, that were all the conclusions, and now I'm gonna tell you what I plan to do next. The next few videos, I want to explain the power system and the different pathways from LOTM to you guys in a way that you all can understand, because at the higher sequence it gets rather complicated. But beware, these videos will contain spoilers on the ending and the whole novel, and also the second book. I am planning also on doing these recommendation videos for other web novels like Shadowslave and Reverend Insanity. So, stay tuned and have a good day.